Section B.5, Running Keycloak using a Helm chart. As with RabbitMQ, DigitalOcean doesn't provide a managed Keycloak service. The Keycloak project is working on an operator, but it's still in beta at the time of writing, so we'll deploy it using a different approach. Helm charts. Think of Helm as a package manager. To install software on your computer, you would use one of the operating system package managers, like apt, Ubuntu, Homebrew, macOS, or Chocolatey, Windows. In Kubernetes, you can similarly use Helm, but they're called charts instead of packages. Go ahead and install Helm on your computer. You can find the instructions on the official website, helm.sh. If you are on Mac OS or Linux, you can install Helm with Homebrew.
See this code?
I have already configured all the necessary resources to use the Keycloak Helm chart provided by Bitnami, bitnami.com, and I've prepared a script to deploy it. Open a terminal window, go to your Polar Deployment project, Polar Deployment, and navigate to the Kubernetes Platform Production Keycloak folder. You should have copied that folder over to your repository when configuring the Kubernetes cluster. If that's not the case, please do so now from the source code repository accompanying this book, Chapter 15/15end/polar deployment/platform/production/Keycloak. Then run the following command to deploy Keycloak to your production Kubernetes cluster.
See this code?
Feel free to open the file and look at the instructions before running it. Note: you might need to make the script executable first with the command chmod +x deploy.sh. The script will output details about all the operations performed to deploy Keycloak and print the admin username and password you can use to access the Keycloak admin console. Feel free to change the password after your first login. Note the credentials down, since you might need them later. The deployment can take several minutes to complete, so it's a good time to take a break and drink a beverage of your choice as a reward for everything you have accomplished so far. Good job! Finally, the script will create a Polar Keycloak client credential secret with the client secret that Edge service will need to authenticate with Keycloak. You can verify that the secret has been successfully created as follows. The value is generated randomly by the script.
See this code?
Note: the Keycloak Helm chart spins up a PostgreSQL instance inside the cluster and uses it to persist the data used by Keycloak. We could have integrated it with the PostgreSQL service managed by DigitalOcean, but the configuration on the Keycloak side would have been quite complicated. If you'd like to use an external PostgreSQL database, you can refer to the Keycloak Helm chart documentation, see this link. The Keycloak server is deployed in a dedicated Keycloak system namespace. Applications can interact with it at polarkeycloak.keycloaksystem.svc.cluster.local on port 8080 from within the cluster. It's also exposed outside the cluster via a public IP address. You can find the external IP address with the following command.
See this code?
The platform might take a few minutes to provision a load balancer. During the provisioning, the external IP column will show a pending status. Wait and try again until an IP address is shown. Note it down, since we're going to use it in multiple scenarios. Since Keycloak is exposed via a public load balancer, you can use the external IP address to access the admin console. Open a browser window, navigate to external IP/admin, and log in with the credentials returned by the previous deployment script. Now that you have a public DNS name for Keycloak, you can define a couple of secrets to configure the Keycloak integration in Edge service, OAuth 2 client, catalog service, and order service, OAuth 2 resource servers. Open a terminal window, navigate to the Kubernetes Platform Production Keycloak folder in your Polar Deployment project, and run the following command to create the secrets that the applications will use to integrate with Keycloak. Feel free to open the file and look at the instructions before running it. Remember to replace external IP with the external IP address assigned to your Keycloak server.
See this code?
That's it for Keycloak. The following section will show you how to deploy Polar UI to the production cluster.